Every robot vacuum cleaner in your house is named after slavery. That word, robot, doesn't come from science or machines at all. It comes from human suffering. Here's the strange true history hiding inside a word you say every single day. In 1920, a Czech writer named Karel Čapek wrote a play called R.U.R. R.U.R. stood for Rossum's Universal Robots. In the story, a factory manufactures artificial human-like workers to labor for humans, cheaply and endlessly, doing every job people didn't want to do themselves. At first the arrangement looks efficient. Then it turns dark. Those manufactured workers eventually rebel against their creators, turning on the very humans who built them for convenience. That single plot became the blueprint for nearly every robot uprising story that followed, from decades of science fiction novels to modern blockbuster movies about machines turning against their makers. Almost every killer robot movie you've ever seen owes its basic premise to this one 1920 stage play. But here's the twist most people never learn. Karel Čapek didn't actually invent the word robot. His brother did. Joseph Čapek, an artist, gets historical credit for suggesting the term to his playwright brother. And Joseph didn't invent a new word from nothing. He grabbed an existing one. He pulled from the Czech and broader Slavic word robota. Robota means forced labor. It means drudgery. Specifically, it described the mandatory unpaid work that serfs owed to landowners under feudal systems across Central Europe centuries ago. Under that system, a peasant didn't work for wages. A peasant worked because the law demanded it, because the land they lived on belonged to someone else, and their labor was the rent they couldn't refuse. Peasants trapped in servitude, not machines, not science fiction. Actual exhausted human beings forced to work without pay or choice, generation after generation, tied to land they didn't own. That grim historical weight got baked directly into the word from day one. The play used Robota's descendant to describe artificial manufactured beings. But the term still carried centuries of feudal misery underneath it, even as it got attached to something made of metal instead of flesh. And here's the part that makes this genuinely wild, the part where the story stops being about one play and starts being about how language itself behaves. The play was an instant international sensation. Within just a few years, R.U.R. was translated into dozens of languages across the world. Audiences everywhere adopted the word robot almost immediately. It detached completely from Čapek's specific theatrical origin. It became the default general term for any mechanical or artificial worker, first across science fiction, then eventually inside real-world engineering and manufacturing. Think about how fast that happened. A word invented for one Czech stage play in 1920 became global technical vocabulary within a matter of years, essentially overnight by linguistic standards. What I find genuinely strange about this is that language almost never works this cleanly. Most technical terms evolve slowly, drift through multiple meanings, get argued over by scholars for decades before settling. Robot did the opposite. It went from feudal drudgery to fictional android rebellion to your kitchen appliance in one clean historical line, without ever losing its shape or picking up new baggage along the way. Almost nobody carries that history around consciously. Almost none of the word's modern, everyday usage carries any conscious memory of its dark feudal labor roots. Say the word robot to someone today, and they picture a shiny metal assistant, not a medieval serf hauling grain for a landowner who owned his labor by law. Yet every single time someone mentions a robot vacuum cleaner gliding across their living room floor, they are unknowingly referencing centuries-old forced peasant labor from Central European feudal history. Every time an industrial assembly line robot bolts a car door into place, that same buried history rides along with it, unnoticed, unspoken, completely invisible inside a word everyone treats as purely modern and purely mechanical. It's a strange kind of linguistic haunting, a term for oppressive human misery survived by hiding inside gadgets we praise for saving us time. So the next time your robot vacuum bumps into a wall in your living room, remember what you're actually saying out loud. You're not naming a machine. You're echoing forced labor from a feudal system that vanished centuries ago, hiding in plain sight inside the most modern word we have. Hit follow if that surprised you.